Urban empires. You too can build what you want, you can have. If you really want it bad, let your dreams be your reality.
Welcome to Urban Empire. This is the show for the entrepreneurs. My name is Colbair and I'm your host. Today we're in the beautiful city of Los Angeles and we got some great interviews for you. First up, StevieDreama, Century City, interviewing Victor Carrillo. He started his business at the age of 17 and now owns one of the largest custom auto companies in Los Angeles. Then we're going to go over to Cherry Johnson, who's over the set of Eve, interviewing Brian Hooks. He's also known as the DVD King. They're going to meet back with me and I'm going to interview Darnello Jackson. He just got a 5-picture deal. And one of the movies he's depicting, Marvin Gaye. You guys don't want to miss none of that, so stay tuned.
You too can build what you want. Urban empire. Urban empire.
Welcome back, you guys. It's time for our first interview. Let's see what Victor Carrillo is all about.
Thanks, Jill. Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is StevieDreama, Urban Empire. We're here in Century City with my man Victor Carrillo, checking out some rims, checking out some cars. They're hot. Vic, man, just tell us how you got this thing started.
Man, I started when I was 17 years old, just been around cars my whole time. And my pops got us into it, me and my 3 brothers, and since then it's been cars for over 12 years.
Okay, can you remember where you were and what was the inspiration that just kicked it all off? What were you thinking? What were you doing? What got your juices flowing?
I think it had to be lowrider shows that I went to as a kid, seeing all the cars, seeing that they weren't the regular cars you see out in the street and what you could do with them. And that really set off the bug that I wanted to do the same thing. I wanted to not only get into cars, I wanted to customize them.
No doubt, no doubt. I heard from a good source, man, that before there was even a pimping a ride, you was pimping rides for like celebrities and stuff like that.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a long time. I mean, all the way back to early 90s with the Dre, Snoop videos. I mean, you name it. A lot of those cars were our cars that we were loaning out, renting out. We were building lowriders, BMWs, racing Hondas, motorcycles. We were into it.
Started when you were 17.
That's right, right. It's been a long haul. There's a lot of bumps in the road, but it was one of those things that once I got committed to it, stuck with it. And through the ups and downs, you know, we came out okay. So we're good. We're here at CEC. This is one of my client shops. I've been doing business with them and working for them for the last 10 years. And I'm very proud of what this company has been able to accomplish. Now we have the ID agency, which is automotive marketing. We specialize in the high-end brands. So think of, we're doing the advertising and marketing for the Giorgio Armani's and the Pradas of the automotive business.
Right. So we hear that you have celebrity clientele, like you work with Denzel, Pink, Sylvester Stallone. Name a few other people that you work with.
It's all over the board. I mean, everything from Shamar Moore to Ozzy Osbourne, to Jose Canseco, Busta. I mean, it's everybody is into cars. So we get people from all walks of life. We get kids, we get celebrities, and we get people that just want to come in here and make their car more them. And that's what we're doing. We're personalizing, we're customizing cars.
No doubt, sweet. So check it. I know we see the after product of the inspiration you had. We're seeing you at the top, man. Tell us what it took for you to get where you at. Ups and downs, smiles and frowns. We're talking about it. Give it to us.
It was a lot. It was a lot of hard work. Also a lot of taking risks too. That was one of the things, you know. We had a lot of good ideas. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. We did an internet automotive business that worked out for a while, sold it, and then the new company went down, and me sticking to my guns, I went down with it. So I had to start all over from scratch again.
You crossed the board with this automotive thing.
I crossed the board, I crossed the country, moved, you know, packed up and moved to Seattle, which was the hub of the whole .com business. Did all that, left LA behind. I mean, whatever it took, I was willing to do it. And sometimes it paid off, and now in the end, it's definitely paying off because we got a successful business. We're doing what we love. I'm happy playing with cars, playing with bikes, and got good people around me.
Are you teaching any of the little homies from the hood how to do what you do? You know, what can you give us on that?
You know, in almost every business I've done, I've kind of kept it as a family business. So my brothers have been involved in all the businesses that I've done. And right now, I've got my younger brother, just came out of college. He's still going to school. So I've got him there. We're teaching him the ropes so that he could learn what it's going to take to make things happen in the real world. Outside of that, you know, we love racing cars of all kinds. So we're working on a charity event
Okay.
and it'll be a charity event for Orange County Food Bank. So I mean, people are always thinking they got to give money overseas, they got to do a lot, but realistically, you got to give right back into your own community, in your own backyard.
With the money comes the power and comes the women. Is that true?
I think with the success comes a lot, you know, and the tricky part is finding a good balance. You know, being able to find a good balance between the personal life and the business life, and that's a little bit of a struggle I'm dealing with now. So I'm working on it.
That's the business.
I'm
That's the
working on it,
business.
yeah.
Now this Porsche, see, I can picture myself rolling in this right here. Vic, man, can I have the keys? I want to hit Sunset this weekend. Can you do that for a brother, man?
Well, actually, this one right here is the only one in the country, Porsche 997, all souped up by Tech Art. So we'll have to talk about that one.
And what was your greatest fear?
You know, starting at such a young age, I was still going to school. So I gotta say, like, one of the greatest fears was just the whole transition itself was going to school, moving out, finding an apartment, making sure Mom's wasn't going to kill me, and making sure Pops approved of everything. So it was a whole process. But you know, on the flip side, on the business side, we had to create a business plan. We had to go out and get a loan, and we had to learn a lot of different things that we didn't deal with in the school books. Okay. So it was a combination of a lot.
That's good that you mentioned school. I'm pretty sure if you started off at 17, you were probably still in high school, man. Probably had a lot of bumps, headaches, and stuff like that. What would be your advice for anybody that wants to build an urban empire? School, or just get out there and make it happen?
Actually, I started in high school, so being that it was a big challenge and a big commitment, I went right into it. I skipped the whole college life and went right into the business life.
Okay. So how long did it take you to build all this, man?
Well, I'm 30 now, so it'll be around 13 years, you know, through a few different businesses, and some successful, some not, but in the end, here we are.
So what's your greatest challenge right now?
Right now, the greatest challenge is the next step. How big do we want to take it? What do we want to do? Kind of comfortable, but at the same time, we're growing, so it's all about what the next moves are.
What has been the highest point in your career?
I have to say the highest point in my career was not one thing in particular, but just slowly being able to get more freedom, whether it's freedom to buy a house or freedom to take a vacation. It's a whole series of things that just give me the ability to live life the way I want to live it.
That's sweet.
Our next interview, Cherry Johnson. Trust me, you can't miss this one.
Hi, I'm Cherry, and we are at the Sunset and Gower Studios, home of The Eve Show, where I am about to invade the dressing room of Eve's funny man, Brian Hooks.
Let's get real comfortable. What?
Welcome back to Urban Empire. Next up, Cherry Johnson, and you don't want to miss this one.
Let's get real comfortable.
Thanks, Jill. I am here in the dressing room with Eve's funny man, Mr. Brian Hooks. It is your third season back on Eve. How you feeling?
Fortunately, we have a great group from the top to the bottom, from the producers to the PAs. Everybody's good spirit and everybody's real cool. So it feels very, very, very good coming back.
Okay, so it was brought to my attention that you were going to college on a full athletic scholarship, and you ended up dropping out to produce movies. How did that come about?
I was down in San Diego playing ball out of high school, and I had some rotator cuff problems. So basically, long story short, I wasn't finna let nobody cut on my arm. Oh. So I ended up down here, and I started searching for this girl on Punky Brewster.
Where did you meet me? Would you like to tell them that when you finally found the girl from Punky Brewster? I believe it was on the Parkers, right?
Yeah, and that's when you had your head up in the air and you was like, you know, beat it, peasant.
So what you're telling me is like you could have been a Dodger or something, right?
Yeah, I could have been a Dodger, but instead I wanted to go on my search for that girl on Punky Brewster. I'll tell you the quick version. Left San Diego because I didn't want to have surgery on my arm. I've never been a big put my trust in doctors, you're gonna take care of it, no. So I ended up coming back to go to school at Cal State Northridge, I started running around once I moved from Dago to Cal State Northridge to go to school, and then I started pursuing acting.
How did you get the money for your first film?
It was some my money and then some my buddies and partner Barry Bowles, who done like the first 5 or 6 of my independent films. Barry and I partnered to do them all together, and he had got his portion of the money gambling, actually, betting on basketball. That was his thing, and you know, with 12 grand, nobody would have thought it could have been done. I don't know how we did it, but we managed to put together like 90 minutes of film. It wasn't the best thing in the world, but you know, if you was high, you laughed like hell.
Okay, and what was the next step after you guys finished filming? How did you find your distribution?
After that, I did an independent film, Fat Beach, it got released theatrically. It did, you know, but on video, it went through the roof. So coming off of that, when we showed up in the office of Xenon with this little bitty film, they were an independent DVD distributor. So they followed that. So they knew what kind of business, you know, Fat Beach had done, my first film. So they seen it as a no-lose situation. And, you know, we spent 12 grand on it. I think they advanced us like something like, it was maybe like 30 grand. And then the film, which, you know, we're back in, and then the film, like today, is made like $800,000.
Brother, how much money you done made?
The 2 aren't out, but the first 5 have grossed a little over $10 million to date. And the combined budget of all 5 films were $1 million. And that's not $1 million for each. That's like all 5 of the movies were made for just $1 million. So.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
So I hear that you're leaving the DVD world behind and going theatrical on us. Is that true?
Well, yes and no. The DVD has always been a stepping stone for me to get to the ultimate platform to, you know, produce big budget, you know, theatrical films. So I have taken the next step up to make a theatrical film. And but the DVD, the independent DVD, that's where I started, and I actually love it. So I'll never stop doing that. You may see less of me in the actual films because I think until now every one that I've done I've also starred in. So you may see less of that, but I'll always be doing the independent DVD thing.
So if it was all over tomorrow as far as entertainment has to do, what would you do after that? Do you have any outside ventures, interests?
Real estate, like everyone. I'm always investing in, you know, projects now that I'm not even hands-on with.
So if I come back to you with a really good script, you gonna give me some money to make it?
I'll give you anything, man.
Oh, for real? What's the difference between TV and movies?
Film, you have more freedom to do what you want to do, and it's like someone trusts you to go to make a movie and they leave you alone and you come back with a finished project, whereas TV is more controlled and you know, what you can say, what you can't say, what's too big, what's too much, and what people won't understand in the Midwest and all that. So it seems to be a bit more controlled.
So they
to me.
censor you more.
Very much so.
Okay.
Very much so.
That's right, because you're directing now.
Yeah, I stepped out and directed. It was sort of unexpected for me. I didn't really plan to, didn't know that I knew as much as I did, but circumstances and situation sort of forced me to step up to ensure that my project was how it was supposed to be, and you know, fortunately, I thank God it turned out.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I like to just continue doing what I'm doing. A lot of people, you know, and I have achieved a lot of the things that I want to do, and I'm blessed to be able to be doing it and in the position that I'm in. But for me, it's like I just, you know, scratch the surface. I just want to do the same thing I'm doing, but on a larger scale, and start to cross over to executive producing television, and also producing films on a bigger level. And then with getting my taste buds wet with the director thing, I have to venture out into that and just creating an empire.
Mr. Hooks, there's a whole lot of people out there who want to do what you're doing now. Could you give them a bit of advice?
My advice would be to just jump out and do your thing. When I first started doing independent films and they were going straight to DVD, everybody thought, why would you do that? What's the point? And it's a wave to where studios are actually giving out strictly DVD deals. So don't let anyone tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing.
Wow. Thank you so much for your time, Brian. I really appreciate this interview. You are watching Urban Empire. We are still here at the Sunset and Gower Studios, but I'm going to send y'all away for a little while so I can catch up with my homie.
Urban Empire, from east to west, watch these urban empires.
Stay tuned, you guys. Urban Empire. What's going on between Cherry and Brian? Somebody give me the scoop.
Let your dreams be your reality. Urban Empire, from east to west, watch these urban.
Welcome back to Urban Empire. I'm Joe Colbair, your host. I am here at the Kodak Theater in Hollywood with Darnello Jackson. He is the executive producer and music supervisor for the upcoming movie Father, Father, Why?
That's correct.
The Marvin Gaye story.
Correct.
So Darnello, how did you acquire that deal?
What we did was that I saw the ad about December 2003. My agent actually saw it and said that I think you should go for the music supervisor position. So what I did is submitted my resume and my reel, and the guy called me back like within a day, called me in, offered it to me on the spot, and then the project kind of went dead in the water, and then just recently, about a month ago, we reactivated it, and he also offered me the co-executive producer of the spot, and right now it's like in high gear. We have several major talent attached to it as well, and we really feel it's going to exceed beyond the Ray movie.
So you say you're executive producer of the project.
Right.
Have you executive produced before?
Not a film. I've co-executive produced on albums, many albums here and there, because that's where my strong background is. But television, film, I've been in it for a long time, but more so in front of the camera as an actor.
So you have the Marvin Gaye picture that's coming up next summer, but you also have some other big projects happening. You just got a 5-picture deal, and you have 2 shows that are going to be on major networks this upcoming season. Tell me about those.
The 5 pictures range anywhere from $5 million to $15 million. Half of it being shot in China, half being shot here in America. The deal took approximately about a year to consummate and make it happen. Our first film is actually going into production next Monday, very first one. And then with the TV shows, we just locked in a 1-hour drama series as well as a comedy, which is, they're going to be definitely hot. One is at Warner Brothers and the other is at Paramount. So we're
Now,
looking
one
at.
of you said is called The Waffle House.
Yeah, it's actually the Waffle Shack, based on the Waffle House in Atlanta.
Okay.
I'm sure a lot of people know. It's going to be reality-based / comedy series situation. Of course, with all the celebrities that come through there, anybody from TLC to Jermaine Dupri, people that just visit that place on the normal. And so it's really based on just the entire environment of the Waffle House, and it's going to be hilarious.
There's a lot of individuals watching this show right now who have projects that they want to present to networks or to production companies. How should they package their projects before they submit it to these entities?
And what you do is you have a group, whether it's yourself or you have several writers. You have, usually most people like to have either a A-list talent attached to it, a showrunner. A showrunner is an executive producer, one that's has a nice long streak of successful runs, or not even so much successful, but just has showrunner experience. Then you go through pitch season, which starts like usually in July, first week of July, and that runs all the way throughout to October. And what you do is you go in and you pitch your project. If they like it, then they offer you, to shoot a pilot on it, and then they attempt to sell that to networks and studios, and hopefully that it gets picked up. Now, I think the best part is that, just the whole development part of it from your creation, because anytime you start writing, it becomes a copyright form, and it becomes, you can develop it into whatever situation. Now, there's many different ways of packaging, because there's different types of projects, from movies of the week, miniseries, of course, your comedy situations, your 1-hour drama series, your cable situations, and then of course reality and documentaries and things like that.
What kind of legal steps should you take when presenting a project to a network so they won't be able to steal your idea?
You always consult with an attorney and You would want to patent, copyright, trademark it, cover all your bases on that. And that goes from the writing to the title of the project to any essence of that. Whatever is involved with the project, you want to make sure it's copywritten all the way around, and also registered with the Writers Guild as well. And then also, if you have anybody else, they should always be in black and white, no matter what. So if you have others that are involved, make sure that everybody's clear prior to presenting to any type of studio or executive that who's involved needs to be stated on black and white. It's just important. So if you have a team, you make sure you guys are all clear understanding, like do you have 25% of writing on this project, or do you have 30% in it, 50% and whatnot. So you want to know who's who, because they'll definitely knock you out the box if you're not prepared for that. So.
Okay, wow, that's good to know.
Yes.
I have one question though.
Yes.
I heard you were a Jackson.
Oh.
The Jackson.
Oh, yes.
Can you give me the scoop on that?
We just another Jackson, you know, dabbed into the industry. All of the Jacksons in the family, whether it's the first generation, second generation, we're all definitely just, you know, we keep it going, and keep that the legacy going. It's just in the blood.
Urban Empire.
You're watching Urban Empire. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
Urban Empire. You too can build.
Well, that's the end of our show today, but we hope that we inspired you in some way to start building your own urban empire. We hope to see you guys next week. Bye.
Urban Empire, this the show. Spotlights on real cats with hustle and flow. From the streets of LA to the streets of New York, all across the world, baby. Port to port.